Okay, so I'm finally making my full card recap because man just needed to sit and compose himself a little bit because he was very, very happy that Jack Della Maddalena had beat Bilal Muhammad. So much so that he realized that he probably came off a bit bad in his last video. So I thought I'd sit on it a little bit, just relax. I was very hyped up, very passionate. This is my favorite sport in the world, and to see a guy I've been following his whole pre-UFC career to not his whole, but the most of his regional career to his pro career, to his UFC career is crazy. Just to see him get to the belt, so obviously very passionate I was. But anyway, let's just talk about the rest of the card, and we'll talk about the main event again later. But first fight of the night, we had Bekzat Almakan versus Brad Katona. Now, I picked Almakan to win this fight, and boy, oh boy, did he win. Nobody runs through Brad Katona like that. Brad Katona has never been finished. All of his losses are by decision. But Bekzat just went out there and knocked him out in a minute. The guy's got power. He's got bricks in his hands. This is the same guy who dropped Umar Nurmagomedov. Very powerful guy. And yeah, he made easy work of Brad Katona. Poor Brad Katona. Then we had Daniel Santos versus Jiang Yang Lee. This was a great performance by Daniel Santos. I'm really feeling amazing that Jack Della Maddalena is champion. I don't know, everything in life just feels great right now. Anyway, Daniel Santos looked very good in this fight. First round, bit shaky. He got knocked off balance, but I don't think it was actually a flush knockdown. Everyone was talking about how it was, first round to Santos, first round to Lee, but I actually think it was just an off balance knockdown. I don't think he was actually concussed. But regardless, he wasn't looking the greatest the first round. You could still argue he won it, as the three judges did have him having it. But the second and third is where he just pulled apart. It looks very good. They call him Little Oliveira. I mean, he's fighting at featherweight now. I don't know if this is a permanent move or if he's going to go back to bantamweight, but looked good against a big featherweight. This isn't a small feather. This isn't a guy. I don't think Lee could make bantamweight. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Let me check if he's ever fought at bantamweight before. But I'm pretty sure this guy is if he was to move at any other weight class, he'd probably be a lightweight. Yeah, whole career at featherweight. This could definitely never make bantamweight. And Daniel Santos is a bantamweight, and he looks very good. Now, I don't know if he's going to go back to bantamweight, because he didn't even look like he filled in his frame for this fight. It was short notice. He looked a bit soft in the body, but his cardio looked great. Fought very good. And could you imagine this guy actually bulking up to featherweight? He could actually be a problem. So it'll be interesting to see what he does next at featherweight or bantamweight, but Santos, 3-fight winning streak, very fun fighter. You could put it, I said this on Twitter, you could book Daniel Santos against a bit of wool on a stick, and it'd be an entertaining fight. It doesn't matter, you could give him a broom, a stick, anything. You let this guy fight anything, human, animal, or just non-existal, that's not even a word, non-existal, I don't even think is a word. Just objects that don't have any proper function, not a machine or anything like that. I'd watch it. I don't care. I'd watch this guy beat the shit out of anything, to be honest. But yeah, Daniel Santos looked great. Marc-Andre Barriol, this was sad. This was very depressing, to be honest. Marc-Andre Barriol, oh my god, I gotta calm down. Gotta think a little bit. Marc-Andre Barriol beat Bruno Silva. He looked very good in this fight. Coming back from some pretty bad KO losses, looked very good. He's back on a win. He's back got a win after 3 losses, 2 brutal KOs as well. But it was sad because Bruno Silva has been dealing with a lot of mental issues with anxiety and stuff like that. And as someone who can relate to mental health struggles, not to be a fucking mental health man, I'm just making this about me. But I can relate to it from Bruno Silva's perspective. So it is very sad, to go through that, especially as a professional athlete. I would shit myself if I'm doing what Bruno Silva does, getting battered by other guys, battering them, fighting Alex Pereira. No wonder the guy's got anxiety. But it's very sad because they were talking about how he's had all these struggles and he's very scared in the cage and stuff and he got brutally knocked out badly. It actually looked like his skull got dented. It was very sad. He was out for 5 minutes or something. They actually stretched him out, which is very scary. But he seemed to be all right. But yeah, that was just very rough to watch. But all good. He's all glad Bruno Silva's all good. He's probably going to get cut. I don't know if he will fight again after this, but it's sad because obviously this guy had a war with Alex Pereira back in the day. But yeah, unfortunately, let's just have the cookie crumbles. And then yeah, he's taking a lot of damage, but we'll see what he does next. Who knows? Maybe they save him and keep him around for Bo Nickal's next fight because it would be a pretty advantageous matchup for Bo Nickal. He doesn't do the best against grapplers. Does Bruno Silva, so that they might actually just keep him around for Bo Nickal. Who knows? But anyway, then we had Navo Sterling versus Ivan Erslan. Now this was an interesting fight because I was watching this fight and I still think this is that Navo Sterling is a bit of a victim of his own success. I'm just stealing my own talking points from my Twitter, so if you watch my tweets, you know what I'm talking about. But what I mean by that is Navo Sterling is very good, and because he's undefeated, gets called up to Dana White Contender Series very young, early in his career, goes in there, wins and everything like that. But I feel like it's also to his detriment that he doesn't get to work on his skills because he's clearly very green. I think he will eventually work everything out, but he is green at this point. And obviously, there's not much you can do on the regional scene because there's generally fuck all people for Navo Sterling to fight. The light heavyweight division is very steep. The heavyweight division is very steep. And it could be dangerous for him to go up to heavyweight as well. He's a natural light heavyweight. So that part of the game is very rough for him that he's going to have to learn on the job in the UFC, the highest organization. But he fought a very, well experienced guy. A KSW light heavyweight contender. He fought for the light heavyweight championship in KSW. It's very legit, especially for the big man. That makes things pretty rough for him. But putting all them things aside, Navo Sterling, he put on a pretty good performance. Second round was clear to Ivan, sorry. I think he got caught a lot with a lot of big shots. I can see why people would arguably give one of the first two rounds to Ivan, but I thought Sterling won the first round, I think it was. And then the third round, he clearly won, dropped him twice, had him badly hurt. I think it was a 10-8. Arguably a 10-8 in the third round. So it was either a draw or a 29-28. It was either a draw or a 29-27 Navo Sterling for this fight, in my opinion. There's no way you can give it to Ivan, in my opinion. But Sterling's still got a lot to work with. Don't rush him. He's still, 26? 27? Yeah, he's young for the light heavyweight division. No need to rush him up. Just let him beat up some lower tier guys or something like that. He looks very slow though, is something I've got to mention. I think his grappling, low key, his wrestling might actually be not better, but a more dangerous part of his game than his striking. He's very athletic, very strong guy, but he's slow. He's powerful, but I don't think he's super technical. I think he is eventually going to be a beast. Don't get me wrong. I'm not ruling him out or anything like that. I just worry if they keep giving him big steps up in competition. Because he fights, he's very green. He is very green. He's very hittable. Offensively, he's good, but his defense needs some work. But he's got a granite chin. I mean, he's a moldy warrior, so, he's going to be able to take some damage. But yeah, then we had Modestas Bukauskas versus Ion Cutelaba. I thought Ion Cutelaba won this fight, but I'm not going to sit there and cry robbery or anything like that. The damaging shots were definitely Bukauskas. I feel like every time he did land, there were big 1-2s, big shots, stuff like that. But I did think Ion Cutelaba won, but I don't know. I feel bad for Ion. I didn't understand it, but I can sort of see the argument. Third round was pretty clear for Modestas. 30-27 each way was crazy. I don't know how two judges could both see this 30-27 to either guy. It was 29-28 either way. I just leant towards Ion Cutelaba, but Modestas Bukauskas gets the win. Even though I didn't necessarily agree with that, I wouldn't say it's a crazy robbery, but maybe I would have to rewatch it. Then we had Jasmine Jasudavicius, destroying Jessica Andrade. Mauls her, landed big shots on the feet, takes her down, mauls her very easily. Great performance by Jasmine Jasudavicius. She looked like Hamza Chimaev. Not physically, but in the fight, I mean. Mike Malott versus Charles Radke. I picked Radke. Very stupid pick now, thinking about it. I don't know why I picked Radke. I guess I just thought Malott would get chin, but Radke is just literally all power. That's all he has. He's not particularly great. And he got destroyed. Mike Malott just beat him up in the first round and the second round, put him out cold and brutally hammer fisted his face through the canvas, which you love to see, I guess. So yeah, great performance by Mike Malott. Then we had Benoit Saint Denis versus Kyle Propolik. Propolik. People were like very rough on Benoit Saint Denis with his performance. He completely dominated the whole fight, but even then, it's like he should have done it. So he's never going to get any credit for this. But like, and I get it. He did get like Kyle landed some big shots on him. Like that was a bit worrying, but his chin still held up and stuff like that. He still maured him on the ground. Did a lot of damage with elbows. And Kyle Propolik is very tough. You know, he can take the big elbows to the chin, big elbows to the nose. Like the guy's very durable, but eventually gets subbed. Yeah, I still think Joel Alvarez would have brutally knocked out Benoit Saint Denis, to be honest with you. That performance didn't change any of them thoughts for me. But yeah, good performance by Benoit Saint Denis. Obviously not against the highest level of competition, but it's good to see him on a win. It would suck for him to get 3 losses in a row. I'm glad he can build his momentum up a bit. I think Alvarez is moving up to welterweight, so we won't see that fight rebooked. So it'll be interesting. Maybe do Benoit Saint Denis versus Gamrot, someone like that. Lightweight's a cool division. I'm like, I know it sounds bad, but I'm sort of glad he got this easy like fight because he's just very entertaining. It was still an entertaining fight, but also I don't want Benoit being close to being cut or anything like that. So I'm glad he's like, got a win. So he's got a bit of room to breathe. But yeah, he's still got a lot of problems with his defense. He didn't improve anything on his defense, but he looked, good offensively, but his defense there still very bad. But that's why we love Benoit Saint Denis. He's a very fun fighter. Then we had Natalia Silva versus Alexa Grasso. Natalia Silva or Natalia. I don't know. Everyone was calling her Natalie, so I'm going to call her Natalie. Natalie Silva looked very good. Pieced her up, kicked her in the head a lot. Looked very great against our former UFC champion. Like that was a very impressive performance. 30-27. She got it done. Very, very impressive stuff for Natalia Silva. Or Natalie. I don't know. I'm just going to call her Silva. Silva looked good physically and in the fight. So yeah, good stuff. Then we had... this is crazy. I can't believe I'm saying this. We had Ayman Zahabi beating Jose Aldo. Now, I don't think Zahabi won that fight whatsoever. If I'm going to be honest with you, it feels like there was a lot of hometown cooking. Because I thought Jose Aldo clearly won this fight. I thought he won every round. Third round, I could see why people would give it to Zahabi just because of the, it didn't look good verbally for Jose Aldo. But, that being said, he dropped him twice. Badly hurt him and was very close to finishing him but gassed out. But I still think he did the more damage. So, I don't know. I thought you could arguably give that to Jose Aldo 30-27. But Zahabi looked good. He had his moments. Like third round, he almost got a finish. But so did Aldo. So it's like, I don't know. How do you score this? But Jose Aldo retires. I don't think he's going to be done. I don't know why. I just feel like he's going to be back. I don't care if it's like 6 months from now. I think Jose Aldo is going to fight one more time at least. But this just sucks if that is his retirement. What a shit run it was. Oh my God, Jose Aldo's back. Like, oh my God, this is cool. We're going to get to see like a legend. Like, there's Dominic Cruz there. That's a really good matchup. You could do him versus Dominic Cruz. You could do him versus like Patricio Pitbull. Everyone wanted to see that fight for years. Moving back up to featherweight. There was, you could do him versus Henry Cejudo. Like, there was all these cool matchups. But instead of that, we got him versus fucking Jonathan Martinez, which nobody ever in their right mind was saying, I really want to see Martinez versus Aldo. Then they did him versus Mario Batista, who nobody in their right mind wanted to see him versus Mario Batista. And then they did him versus Ayman Zahabi, who not a single soul, not even Zahabi's cousins who barely know the guy, or even, do know the guy, would have been like, I really want to see Zahabi versus Jose Aldo. Not a soul wanted this fight. Why did they do it? I don't know. Very weird, especially Zahabi's like 37. He's not even like a super young guy. Like, this doesn't help the UFC in any way. I don't know, it's crazy, but Zahabi's going to be like top 10, top 8 or something like that, which is crazy. I never thought Zahabi would get to this point. He lost to like Draco Rodriguez. He got knocked out by Rodriguez at one point. Now look at him. It's beat Pedro Munoz and Jose Aldo back to back. It's just crazy how this sport works, man. But yeah, Zahabi gets it. I didn't think he won, but I respect the guy. His career turnaround has been great. 6 fight winning streak. Like, I don't know. It's impressive to me, even if I didn't think he got the decision. But yeah. Then Valentina Shevchenko versus Manon Fiorot. No, now I'm gonna be 100% real. I thought Fiorot won this fight, 48-47, but I'm not gonna cry in like robbery or anything like that. Fourth round she was winning, but she got dropped, and then I thought she won the fifth. I really did think she won it, and I'm surprised it wasn't like a split. I know people hate when it's like, oh, it wasn't even a split decision, but I thought it was so close that at least one of the judges would have gave it to Fiorot. Yeah, would have gave it to Fiorot, but no, it was unanimous. All three judges seen it to Shevchenko, which I thought was weird, but this is what it is. I guess you could do Shevchenko versus Weili Zhang now. Or you can do her Silva. So, there's some good matchups there. Then we had the main event. I talked about this. Jack Della Maddalena beat up Bilal Muhammad, became the UFC welterweight champion, 18-2, from 0-2 to 18-2. 18-fight winning streak. Jack Della Maddalena, what a career turnaround for this man. This is what I mean. If you go for 0-3, 0-2, whatever it is in your career, don't give up. Keep fighting. Don't retire. I'm telling you, this goes out to everyone. It doesn't matter how bad your 2 losses were. If you keep training, you keep working hard, you can eventually get to the belt. And Jack Della Maddalena worked his ass off. Now, I found out the first round, 2 of the judges actually gave it to Bilal Muhammad, which is so unbelievably stupid. I don't know how. I don't know how they could have gave that to him, but they did. So that's very stupid. I thought it was 49-46 to JDM. I'm even thinking the 4th round could have gone to Jack, to be honest with you guys. But we'll give him a pity 4th round. But great fight. Jack Della Maddalena looked great. Takedown defense looked superb. Like, he had really good get-ups and sprawls, but his actual overall takedown defense is actually very good. Looks very improved. Craig Jones working his magic. A year off was great for him. I feel like it was good for Jack's body not to cut weight or anything like that for a bit. Just relax, because people forget he was very active. He was fighting like 3-4 times a year. He did the double weight cut against Hafez. So I think it's good that he got to rest his body for over a year. And now look at him. He looked amazing. Destroyed Bilal Muhammad. Mocked him in the 3rd round. He was like pretending to feint takedowns. Did like a spinning back fist and a spinning kick. Like, he was just playing with his food at that point. Beat up Bilal Muhammad. Looked good. Did his best work in the 5th round where he landed like 53 significant strikes. Almost had Bilal out of there. Like, people were saying that Bilal's like the welterweight morale, but his cardio is crazy. If he's that, then what the fuck is Jack? Because Jack's cardio was amazing. His heart is even better. And he always does better in the later rounds. Like, he's a cardio machine. Like, he will always just keep pushing, and he looked very good. And I'm very excited to see him versus Islam Makhachev, if that is what happens next. But yeah, I spoke about this quite a lot in a previous video, so if you want to see that, go watch my video. Jack Della Maddalena is the new welterweight champion, because that's me very passionate. If you want to see me very passionate, go watch that video. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe, put on notifications, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.